If you've watched Ryan Trahan's 50 States in 50 Days series, then you've probably noticed a few things. The same greeting every morning, the same pajamas every night, the same sign-off. And you might have thought, that's a cute little quirk.
It is simply Jammy time.
But what if I told you that none of it was an accident? That these rituals, the good morning Sleepyheads greeting, the Jammy time sign-off, the nightly farewell, are the visible capstones of a deep and intentionally constructed psychological foundation. If you thought this was just some goofy YouTuber stuff, oh no, my friend, this is a masterclass in community building. And today we're going to break down the genius of how Ryan Trahan turned millions of viewers into his loyal pajama-wearing sleepyheads. Let's start with the foundation of trust. Before we can get to the catchphrases, we have to understand the groundwork, because these rituals don't work in a vacuum. They work because Ryan Trahan is a master at building one thing: trust. For years, authenticity online meant a grainy selfie or a caption that said "no filter" on a photo that was clearly filtered. But audiences, especially today, got wise to that performance. People can lose attention on an ad in 1.3 seconds. The new currency, the new trust marker, isn't fake realness, it's actual vulnerability. And this is where Ryan excels. He's not just some untouchable celebrity, he's a humble and sometimes awkward guy. He doesn't edit out the weird moments, he leans into them. And honestly, I love that about him and his content. Yes, I'm a huge Ryan Trahan fan, but Ryan takes it a step further. In interviews and videos, Ryan has been incredibly open about his personal life, including his personal faith journey, talking about how he almost quit YouTube because despite all the success, he still felt very empty and lost. In fact, he credits his faith with finding his purpose. Now, regardless of what you believe, this is still a profound act of vulnerability. He's sharing a core part of his identity, and this builds a bedrock of trust that you just can't get from your average travel vlog. So before he can call you a sleepyhead, or me a sleepyhead, he has to make us feel like we're his friends, who he trusts with his story. It's an essential first step that makes everything else possible. Which brings us to this.
Good morning, Sleepyheads. Good morning, Sleepyheads. Good morning, Sleepyheads. Good morning, Sleepyheads.
This is not just a greeting. It's a three-pronged psychological tool. First, the name itself, sleepyhead. That could be defined as an informal, affectionate term, usually for a child or someone you're close to. It's gentle, it's caring. And by giving his audience a collective nickname, he's creating an in-group. He's not talking to millions of randoms, he's talking to his sleepyheads. You're special, I'm special, we're in the club. It's a daily signal that says, you're known here, you belong. The power of habit. Humans are creatures of routine. Media consumption is often a habit, cued by a time of day or a specific feeling. The 50 States series, with its daily uploads, brilliantly mimics old-school appointment television. It becomes part of your daily routine, which makes sense when you read all the comments or hear what people say when they donate money to St. Jude. Over and over again, you'll hear people say, I watch this every day or every night with my family. And that's what I did growing up with my own family. We would watch TV in the evenings together. Good Morning Sleepyheads is the consistent daily cue that starts the loop. It's not just another YouTube video on your feed, it's your morning coffee. And Ryan is the barista who knows your name, and that you're probably still in bed. Third, it frames your relationship. A generic "what's up guys" is impersonal. Good Morning Sleepyheads, though, frames Ryan in an almost caretaker role. He's the friend waking you up for the day's adventure. And if Good Morning Sleepyhead starts the day, Jammy time is the communal exhale that ends it. This segment provides narrative closure. After a day of chaos, the pajamas symbolize safety and rest, but it's framed as a collective achievement. Ryan himself has said, Jammy time feels like a job well done. It's like, wow, we did that day. He's not just celebrating for himself, he's celebrating with you and with me. With us. After a hard day of watching Ryan have a hard day, we all get to put on our jammies. Teamwork. But there's another psychological principle at play, the mere exposure effect. This is the idea that we tend to like things simply because they're familiar. Slightly off-key jingle and the pajamas. On their own, they're nothing special, but repeated 50 times, they become familiar, comfortable, predictable, and your brain has been conditioned to love them. Science. And finally, it's because a massive inside joke, the ultimate social glue. Fans have created their own Jammy Time compilation. Fans have even hunted down the obscure theme song, As My Pockets Grow Deeper, by an artist named Hell Nasty, by the way. And they've even found the exact websites where you can buy the pajamas. This is the secret handshake of the Trahan fandom. If you know about Jammy Time, you're in. If you don't, then you're just some person who doesn't appreciate the art of coordinated sleepwear. So what happens when we put it all together? You get a powerful, self-enforcing flywheel. Okay, not of doom. This is a good flywheel. It starts with the morning muster, good morning sleepyheads, that pulls you into the community. Then comes the shared journey, the video itself, the challenges, the adventures. That's followed by the communal exhale, Jammy Time, which provides closure and deepens the bond. And it ends with a nightly handshake, reading donor names and messages. That final step is crucial. It's an act of reciprocity. By acknowledging donors, he makes them feel seen and valued, strengthening the entire community's loyalty. Each part of this cycle makes the next rotation more powerful. The trust built at night fuels the anticipation for the morning greeting. The habit gets stronger. The inside jokes get deeper. It's a genius system designed not just for views, but for enduring loyalty. Another creator analyzed Ryan's choice to wear the same outfit every day and came to a simple conclusion. It's not laziness, it's strategy. And that applies here more than ever. And this isn't just a YouTuber thing. Whether you're an author building a readership, a podcaster growing a listener base, or any kind of storyteller trying to connect with an audience, these principles are universal. Trahan's work is a case study in what content strategists call the building blocks of modern storytelling. Delivering value, creating narrative progression, and using strategic disruptions to hold attention. He's a master at using his personal story not as the main topic, but as the extra spice that makes his content stand out and build that foundational trust. Think about how these rituals apply to your own creative work. So no, the Good Morning Sleepyheads and Jammy Time bits aren't lazy, repetitive segments. They are a sophisticated, multi-layered system. They build trust through vulnerability, create habits through consistency, and forge a massive audience into a single cohesive community with its own language and rituals. So the next time you hear that greeting, you'll know you're not just watching a video. You're part of a very well-designed, psychologically sound, pajama-wearing machine. And honestly, it's pretty genius. Now, if you'll excuse me, it's Jammy Time.